Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Focus on South Texas. We are now talking about a great program called Teens in the Driver's Seat. If you watch local news, you probably have heard throughout the year the number of fatal car crashes we have reported involving teenagers. In fact, that is the leading cause of death among teenagers. Car crashes, whether they, pass away or injuries, it is a bad, bad thing. And it can be anything from, texting and driving, not wearing a seatbelt, driving under the influence. So this program called Teens in the Driver's Seat, it was actually started here in San Antonio, been going on for about 10 years. It is now in 7 states, which is incredible. And these wonderful teens from Brandeis High School are with us this morning to talk about that program. You may recognize Presley Price from Brandeis High School. She is a junior. She has been on Focus on South Texas in the past. Joseph Leal, he is a sophomore. And Alina Adams, she is a senior. Are you excited?
Yes.
Just a few months to go.
I know. It's really exciting.
Yay. Well, you guys went through a pretty tough time earlier this year. It was back in February that 2 of your classmates died in a suspected street racing accident not too far from the high school. So I can only imagine what kind of an impact that had in itself. But I sure bet it got a lot more people on board with the peer-to-peer program. So let's talk about what Teens in the Driver's Seat is, Presley.
Absolutely. Teens in the Driver's Seat is a peer-to-peer program that really focuses on educating teenagers about the dangers of driving and also promotes safe driving habits.
Okay, and Joseph, you said that you haven't started driving yet, but are you scared now?
I'm not too scared about driving. It's just I just need to know right and wrong, like right from wrong, and I need to stay away from all the dangers and all of the distractions with driving, and just kind of be on my path and stay clear.
I mean, it is so easy to get distracted. I mean, Alina, do you drive?
I do, and I've learned over the years that you really have to pay attention, and when you have passengers under your care, it's important that you have your lives, you have their lives in your hands. So you really just have to pay attention and be aware.
Well, what are some of the things that can distract you when driving? Do you drive, Presley?
I don't actually.
Okay.
I don't. But the 5 major causes, or the 5 biggest dangers in driving is nighttime driving, distractions in the car, which includes cell phones and other passengers, not wearing seatbelts, speeding, and then also drinking and driving.
And changing the radio or disc or whatever, I mean, I read a statistic the other day that they said that if you're texting or even if you just look down, if you're driving 55 miles per hour and you just glance down to look at your phone, that you can travel, that car can travel the length of 2 football fields before you look up and realize where you are. That is frightening.
That's crazy.
That is frightening.
It is crazy.
And so with the peer-to-peer program, it's just like a grassroots effort basically, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, teenagers, we all know how much teenagers do not like to listen to adults. So the peer-to-peer program really works. I mean,
what do you do?
Parents,
do you go into schools or what do you?
Well, at our high school, we do different activities. So last year we started with a pledge day where we had everyone sign a banner and everything.
Which is what this magnet is kind of talking about. Okay.
Yes.
And what does the pledge say?
Sorry,
go ahead.
It just really focuses on paying attention while you're driving and pledging to not be distracted, to not text and drive, to wear your seatbelt, to make sure your passengers are wearing their seatbelts. So it's important.
Because it is a law that everyone in the car has to wear a seatbelt, correct?
Yes.
Right, because when I was growing up, I remember, and that was way, way long ago, before you were even born, we didn't have to wear seatbelts in the back seat. So I'm glad that they did change that law. So you just tell your friends, hey, get on board with this. Don't be dumb.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really educate people also through the different activities that we're doing. Just recently, I think it was a couple weeks ago, we took count of how many kids were wearing their seatbelts when they were leaving campus for lunch.
Ooh,
yes.
Scandalous. And the results?
And actually, a lot of them were wearing their seatbelts. However, I know one officer that was leaving our campus, he was not wearing a seatbelt. We were like, oh, need to keep track of that one.
I think that you kind of get into that mentality of, it's not going to happen to me. That's not going. That happens to other people. It's not going to happen to me. I'm invincible. I mean, is that
absolutely
what people think?
I think so.
I agree. I do.
So what do you have coming up? Because we are in the month of October. It's the end of October. What do you have coming up the rest of the school year?
We have our Celebrate My Drive Week, which is October 18th through October 26th, and it's a week where we really focus on having people commit to safe driving and have them sign up online and also vote for Brandeis so we can win prizes and other things like that.
Oh, that sounds good. Win prizes. Hey, bribery does work. It does. Even as an adult. Hey, if you do this, I'll give you this. Okay. That sounds great. And since the fatal wreck back in February, have you also noticed a difference with the responsibility that your classmates are taking when behind the wheel?
I think so. Brandeis is a really connected community, and so even if you don't know the person who was harmed or the family that was affected, I think as a community we've all realized that you really literally have to buckle down and take this seriously, because it's being behind the wheel and having passengers in your car, it's a serious thing. So I think, like you said, the peer-to-peer really works because it's coming from your friends and people you sit in class with. It's not just an adult talking down to you all the time.
That's true. That's true. And I think for me, even as an adult, I'm afraid of other drivers.
Definitely.
You're like, yeah. Because I may not be, doing this and doing this, but I'll see somebody next to me doing that and starting to, veer over into the other lane. That's frightening. I mean, have you seen that yourselves?
Yes, we have.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you
I think
do?
that's what makes me scared about driving, because I haven't started driving yet, and I've always told my parents it's the other drivers, that really scare me.
Well, that's what my dad taught me when I was going through, driver's ed, and he said, it's not you I'm worried about, it's everybody else around you. So you have to think defensively and always be alert. So not only do you have to take the responsibility of not getting distracted, but you got to watch out for other people. Now, I did find out a great statistic from Russell, who is the program's leader for Teens in the Driver's Seat. He said that since this program started 10 years ago, the number of teens involved in fatal car crashes has actually decreased. This is in Texas. So we know that this is working. And so then you're not only going out and spreading the word, are you recruiting other people to get involved in the program?
Yes, we are. At our school, we have kind of our board of students, so we get big leaders throughout the school to get involved, and that way we can spread the message even more, and also to different groups throughout the school.
And it's different high schools as well in San Antonio.
Yes.
So Brandeis is not the only one.
Correct.
Okay. And so what are some of these items? I always like having things on the table.
Okay, so this right here is our famous wristband. It says "Keep Our Drive Alive" and "Save a Life," and then it also has our website.
I like it small.
And then this one just has the logo. It's a magnet you can put on your refrigerator, and just another reminder around the house. And this is a bumper sticker. Yes. Perfect for the car. Most people get really nervous with putting on bumper stickers, but this one, all the kids in our school are just willing to put it on, just because it's another reminder, and it's just keeping people alert and reminded.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this, because I was once your age. Yes. It's not uncool to be a part of this, right? Did you face any of that kind of?
No, I think
that's
that something. I think something with Teens in the Driver's Seat. I mean, we always talk about laws and how we have to create more laws for safe driving, and laws can only do so much. That's when we need to start thinking about changing our thoughts of safe driving and making it cool to be a safe driver.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Changing the mindset. That's exactly right. Okay, so we also have a DVD. Is this something that you give out to your peers?
We actually don't. This is one of the starter DVD sets that we got to show at our school, and it shows videos of other schools that put together a video, and it's just kind of like an informational video on a different way to get the word out there that to awareness for safe driving.
Right, and to get other high schools on board. Yes. I mean, I know that in high school, you're rivals with everybody. We're going to beat that team and this, that, and the other. But this is actually the one time that you want other schools to join in. So if another high school, happens to be watching this segment, they could say, hey, you know what, we need to get that in our school. And so this is some of the items that they would get as well. Right. And then I hear that this is the best, though.
They smell so good. That is our air freshener, and it also has the 5 biggest risks of dangerous driving on the back.
Okay.
It's the perfect reminder. So when you're looking in your rearview mirror and then you see that, you're like, oh, you know what? I should probably slow down. I'm on 45 and I'm going 55. So I like that one a lot.
Now let me ask you one more question, because we have just less than a minute left. since everything happened back in February with your classmates, have you guys had any big issues since then? I can't think of any, at least from a news standpoint, of anything we've reported on.
Not at Brandeis, we haven't. I mean, we've really spread awareness to our school this year.
And what's also important for other schools to know is that you don't have to have a tragic event to happen in order to promote safe driving. Anybody and everybody should be included in it.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
what's really good
Let's stop
about
it before it actually happens,
Exactly.
right?
And it's also not only about just drivers, it's also about being a safe passenger.
Yes.
Yes, and taking that responsibility and saying, hey, stop that, or
Exactly.
do this. I agree. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. You
you.
guys
Thank
are
you
a
so
great
much,
group.
Fran,
And thank you for spreading the word, because we need people to pay more attention. And I am going to go right out to my car. When we go to the commercial break, I'm putting this in my car. All right, thank you so much. Okay, we have our community calendar coming up just after the break.